I mean. Look at them glowing. Hello everyone. So welcome back to another video. Ooh! I'm in a good mood today. It's hot, which usually actually doesn't put me in a good mood. Don't like being sticky and sweaty, you know what I mean? But I'm just in a good mood. I love making videos, obviously. And yeah, just feeling really good. I'm going to be using my hands a lot because I'm very excited about my nails. I'm going to link down below the Instagram of the girl. Did I just spit at you? I think I did. Apologies. I'm going to link down below her Instagram. She's amazing. Anyway, enough of the nails. Let's talk about periods, because that's all I can seem to talk about on this channel. My most recent video is actually about the week leading up to my period and how you can cope better with that week. And this is the next video, and this is also on the topic of periods. So I love talking about periods, obviously. And I hope you love listening to me talk about periods. So I thought I would go through all of the period products that I've ever used and not rate them, but just kind of rate them in an order of which ones I like the least and which ones I like the most. So this is my least favourite period product. Let's begin. Let's just jump right in. It's pads. So I have this little emergency bag in my drawer, which I should probably get rid of. These are probably all expired. I don't use pads anymore, don't use tampons. So I will check the date. If they're not expired, I'll make sure to pass them on to another lovely lady so that they're not wasted. But enough of explaining myself. Here's some pads, and this is why I don't like them. So pads, I remember, were the first period products that I ever tried, that I ever used. I feel like that's quite common, like girls using pads before tampons or cups or anything else. Yeah, my experience with pads it just wasn't nice. I mean, you can feel that you're on your period. It's very, very apparent. Like, you can't hide from the fact you're on your period if you're wearing a pad, because you can literally feel the blood like coming out of you. This is a little bit of a disclaimer, but on this channel I do kind of say it how it is sometimes, and I know some people don't really like that. You know, me saying blood seeping out of a vagina, but that's just life, isn't it? And this is the truth, and I don't know how to beat around the bush. I don't know how to say it without not just saying it. So, you know, if you don't like how I'm speaking about this, feel free to watch a different video, but we are going to be trying to speak quite freely about these things. So yeah, like I said, these are the first things I ever used. The most uncomfortable, I think, period products that I've ever used is a pad. They're quite itchy, you know, sometimes it feels like you're wearing a diaper, especially if you have like a really heavy flow and you're having to use the ones with the wings and they're just huge, like massive pads. It just feels like you're wearing, it's a diaper, but that's very American. What's the word for nappy? It feels like you're wearing a huge nappy. So yeah, that's why they're my least favourite, I'd say, because they're just very invasive. But to get a bit more serious about it, I have done a little bit of research around single-use menstrual products, and it doesn't look good. I'm going to link down below this article. I'll probably put a few things on the screen, but basically something that I've seen come up across many websites, many research papers, is pads and tampons contain a chemical called dioxin, which is a very kind of aggressive, harmful chemical. It's not something you should put near your body, never mind your vagina, because obviously, you know, pads and tampons are bleached. They're not originally that colour, like they bleach them, and you know, they contain plastic, all this stuff. So for me, that just kind of solidifies the fact that pads and tampons are not really my favourites, because they don't agree with our bodies anyway, and just on the surface, like I said, they're just not comfortable. I'm not really interested in them anymore, okay? But obviously, if you like pads, you like tampons, it works for you, go ahead, use them. But I think it's good for us to talk about this, and you know, that pads and tampons actually aren't that great for us. I think that's just the statement I'll put out there. And I just personally I'm not a fan, okay? I know I've been talking about tampons at the same time, but tampons I would say come second after pads. Again, like I said, I kind of see pads and tampons as very similar single-use products. You know, the chemicals and stuff not agreeing with our bodies, stuff like that. They kind of go into the same category for me, which is why I was kind of talking about them as if they were the same thing, but obviously they are very different. So the reason why I like tampons a little bit better is because it is a little bit less messy. The blood stays in there until you remove the tampon. You see it a little bit, you put it in the bin, you know, it's just less messy. It stays tucked away inside of your body, but it's also not great. And I would actually have to argue that tampons are probably worse for you when it comes to the chemicals that you're putting around your body, because so like with a pad, at least it's on the outside, it's still not great because it's touching your skin, but with the tampon you're actually putting it inside your vagina, which, yeah, it's not great because your vagina is so absorbent and it's absorbing everything that's in that tampon. So I would say tampons for me would actually be further down on the list just for that reason. Again, I don't want this to come across as if I'm like bashing these products and I'm like, shame on you if you use these. Definitely not. I mean, some people don't have access to other products, they need to use these. They'd actually be very grateful to be given a pad or a tampon. So I don't want to come across as too like pushy about how I don't really agree with them or I don't really like them. I'm very aware that they're great in certain aspects. This is not an anti-single use period video. Okay, this is just my preferences and a little bit of information that I'm putting out there. So coming in next, I cannot rave enough about these things, okay? I actually don't use this anymore. Let's introduce it. Oh my god, I can't talk. Let's introduce this product before I bang on about it. This is the menstrual cup. I'm gonna put a few clips in here to show you like the different ways that you can like put this in, because I know that's one of the biggest questions people have about menstrual cups, is how do you get this inside you? And there are, I think, 2 ways you can do it that I'm aware of, which I will show on the screen. The one that I have here is actually the original moon cup. I'm gonna powder my face a little bit because we're getting a bit sweaty, we're getting a bit greasy over here. Okay, that's a bit better. So I've been using a menstrual cup for about 2 years now, I believe. I don't quite know, but I think it's been about 2 years. Yeah, this could be a whole video in itself. I'm just gonna rave a little bit about this now. The reason I like this so much is because with this cup, I literally have days where I forget I'm on my period, and not to the extent where I forget it's in and I'm like, oh my god, I need to take my cup out, but I'm going about my day and I'm aware that I'm on my period, but it's so like easy to just go about your day and just kind of forget at times, because I mean, it's crazy to me that this can be inside me and I literally can't feel it. With tampons, I never really had that experience where it was absolutely no feeling. Like I literally couldn't feel anything. Like with tampons, I always knew it was there. There'd be more times than not that I would have issues with it and have, I put it in wrong, or you know what I mean? Whereas with this cup, like I'm telling you now, it's in there and it's in there. Do you know what I mean? So if that's something that bothers you with tampons, you might actually really like this cup. One of the biggest things that people struggle with is how to actually like dispose of the blood and clean it and all that stuff. So again, I've never really had big issues with that personally, because you can leave this cup in for like 12 hours, I believe. I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but I think you can leave this in for 12 hours. Never really had to change my cup like in an awkward place. Like I usually get to change it at home or at a friend's house, my boyfriend's house. Like if I really need to change it, I can. But the thing is as well, it holds a lot of blood. So even if you have quite a heavy flow, you'll probably be all right and you can wait till you get home to like take it out. I will say though, they haven't done a study yet on toxic shock syndrome with these, because I don't think they've been around for that long, and so they haven't actually got the research out about toxic shock syndrome. From my own understanding, I don't know if they know it's possible you could get toxic shock syndrome with these. Again, just be careful. Take it out, pour it in the toilet, give it a little wash, put it back in, and then when you finish your period, you can boil it. By boiling it, you're like cleaning it, ready for the next month. So I'm just going to put it out there as well that they can get quite discoloured. So mine's not actually that discoloured, but it was probably a lot clearer when I first got it. This is another thing that I'm like slightly nervous about sharing, because it's kind of like, I don't know, I still feel that kind of stigma around it, but we're trying to break that. But yeah, this is discoloured from my blood, and that's normal and that's natural. And yeah, just make sure that you clean it every time you finish your next period. Okay, so I've raved about the moon cup, why I love it, but There is one little thing about the Moon Cup that I actually have struggled with, which is the reason I don't actually use it anymore. It pushes on my bladder. So when I'm wearing it, it's kind of like I need to go to the toilet more often because it's pushing on my bladder, and my bladder's like, oh, you need a wee, you need a wee, you need a wee. So I'm like, okay, and I'll go to the toilet and there's not much there. Like there's not much wee that's actually needing to come out. It's just because it's pushing against my bladder. But at the same time, if I'm like really desperate for a wee, I'll go to the toilet and I can't get it out. Like sometimes I can't get it out without like really pushing to get it out, which obviously isn't very good for my body. It's not good, it's not healthy, which was quite disappointing for me because I literally refuse to go back to pads and tampons. Like I literally thought I can't do that. So I'm just gonna have to keep using this until I discovered the Ziggy Cup. So again, I'm going to put a couple videos on the screen to show you how you put it in, show you how you fold it and stuff. What surprised me with this is that how thin the actual cup is. So the rim is quite robust, but the actual cup is like really thin. It's like paper thin. So yeah, I don't know, I just thought I'd put that out there. That was surprising. But a lot of discs, so this is classed as like a menstrual disc. A lot of them are actually thicker than this. So again, I'm very new to these, but this is my favourite now by far. So I have actually only used this once. I actually came off my period yesterday, so I used this for that period and it was incredible. Honestly, I had no issues with going to the toilet and having to like push my wee out. Like it doesn't press against my bladder at all, like whatsoever. It's just even less material, so it feels even lighter. At the minute, obviously I've used it once, I've used it for one cycle, so at the minute I have nothing bad to say about it. The only thing is that it might take some practice at first to figure out how to position this. So basically, I might put a little diagram on the screen to like show you your anatomy so that you understand what I'm saying. So I had to watch quite a few videos first before I understood like where this would go, because you know, it's kind of like just like a little disc. Like, is that supposed to just sit like this? So in my head it was like, okay, this is my vagina, this is my vagina, like is the disc just gonna like sit there? Because then I was thinking, okay, the blood is gonna be coming from here. I guess it would be this way around. I'm not doing a great job of this, but yeah, I just thought, how is it gonna work? I just didn't get it right. So I watched quite a few videos and I was like, I think I understand. So pretty much you want to fold it lengthways just like this. I don't know if there's any other way that you can fold it, so it's quite simple, but you just fold it like that and then you put it in there and you basically just want to aim it towards your lower back instead of like, don't aim it straight up, go towards the back. The reason for that is so that it like sits underneath your cervix instead of in front of it. So it'll make a lot more sense if you watch some videos. There's a lot of shorts, like YouTube short videos on how to put one of these in. Not sure why I'm trying to explain that to you, because you know, you can figure it out for yourself. It took me, to be fair, it only took me a few tries to like understand if it was in the right place. But yeah, so once you've got it under your cervix, you want to just tuck this behind your pubic bone. Again, you'll have to figure it out. You have to rummage around down there and see what's going on, and I really hope it works for a lot of you if you do want to try it, because honestly it's tough for us women, like trying to figure out what the best products are for us and have a smooth and steady period and not have to worry about leaks and itchiness and dryness and all these things that we go through. And I cannot stress to you enough how much using cups as opposed to single-use products has changed my life. Like, it actually has. It has made my period experience just a lot smoother, and just because I know that I'm being kinder to my body as well, it just feels a lot nicer for me. It just feels a lot healthier to be using these, and it just works for me, you know? So yeah, that's them. We'll put the order that I put them in down on the screen, up on the screen, down on the screen, everywhere, all over the screen. So that's just my personal opinion on period products and the ones that I've tried. There is one more period product that I haven't used yet. I haven't trialed and tested, which I am going to. Period pants. So period pants really appeal to me. I did want to talk about this actually in this video. The reason period pants really intrigue me is because they allow you to free bleed, and free bleeding is basically just when you allow your body to you're allowing your body to release the blood freely. So you're not kind of soaking it up, or so even like with discs and cups, like I was talking about before, you know, they are collecting the blood. So you're not actually releasing the blood in a way completely out of your body, because these catch it first before it kind of comes out, if that makes sense. So the reason I really like the idea of free bleeding, again, this is another thing that I know there is some like stigma around this, but once again, yeah, if there's a stigma, we're going to talk about it, okay? So free bleeding just really appeals to me because it's ultimately what your body is trying to do. It wants to release, you know, it wants to release it. And by soaking up the blood and catching it, I get that we have to do it, and our lifestyles usually don't permit us to, that was a crazy sentence, you know, to just free bleed everywhere, because we have to do things, we have to go places. So free bleeding is not a crazy easy option. But like I said, I really like the idea of it. I have free bled before. Sometimes when I'm like nearing the end of my period and I want to give my body a bit of a rest, I don't want to put anything in there, I just want to let it all out. I just want to sit down and just bleed everywhere. I would just get a towel and put it on my bed and just, you know, sit and free bleed. I haven't done this that much. I've probably done it a few times. Like I said, towards the end of my cycle, if I'm just chilling at home, I know I'm not going anywhere, then I have tried free bleeding, and it honestly just, I can't really describe it. It's kind of like one of those things where you like go outside without shoes on and you're like walking in the grass and you can feel the grass on your toes. It's kind of like that sort of feeling of like, I don't know. So yeah, that's the reason I want to try period pants, and I just think they'd be really nice for like I said, the last like couple of days of my period where it's kind of like lighter than the previous days. I feel like it would be nice to give my body a bit of a rest and just allow it to like clear out kind of thing. So yeah, that's the last product that I'm going to talk to you about today. And yeah, I've really enjoyed this video. Like I said at the start, I'm obsessed with anything periods. Anything period related, I don't know what it is, I'm just obsessed, and I really want everyone to have a better experience with their periods, because I used to struggle a lot, and I feel like I'm finally kind of coming to a really healthy place with my body and my periods and all that good stuff. So yeah, I hope this video helped someone. You know, maybe you've never heard of the Ziggy Cup before and that's something you want to try. Or maybe you're like, oh my god, I'm just gonna free bleed everywhere now and that's just what I'm gonna do. Then, you know, go for it. So yeah, thank you for watching once again. If you want to see more and you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Go on. You won't regret it. And if you do, it's just as easy to unsubscribe. Shouldn't have let you know, but it's out there. Like always, if you do have any other videos that you want me to make, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to give that a go. Your feedback and your wants and your needs are very much taken into account and very much appreciated. So thank you once again. And yeah, I'm gonna go now. I will see you next week for a brand new video. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.